I don't usually get coffees when I'm just by myself, but today I feel like romanticizing my day. So I just did my Pilates, I have my coffee, and I'm trying to make this a nice weekend to kind of also recharge for when the work week starts again. So I have until Dhuhr to basically do my thing, and then I'm going out. So it's 1 hour and 50 minutes left. The plan right now is very simple. I just want to have a few hours where I'm in my housewife slash homebody element. So I'm just going to go ahead and journal for a little bit to kind of set my intentions for today and for this weekend. And then I'll try to basically get this house as tidy and clean as possible with the time that I have, so that when I do come back later, I'm kind of like refreshed. And I like to do everything on a Saturday so that my Sundays are kind of free to do whatever and I don't have to focus on cleaning as much. Today my drink of choice is an iced latte with caramel, so it's really, really basic, but I just went with what I know and what I know I like. And yeah, I figured I just want to take you with me today because I feel like I'm slowly getting out of a slump and I want to kind of document it, and maybe we could go on this journey together, because Lord knows I've been kind of letting life happen instead of being really present in it. I just haven't been feeling present with myself lately, and I'm trying to get back with it, basically, get my life back. If you're in the same boat where you kind of need to get out of a rut, and I know I've said this in the previous video as well, which was more than a month ago, so I've been in this for some time, but if you're in the same boat as me, let's try to get back on track together. And maybe not even back on track, because that would mean going back to the same road you were on before. But I feel like it's time for something new, maybe. So it's not really about getting back on track. It's about paving a new way for us to kind of align with ourselves again, and also see how in this stage of life I can try to work on both deen and dunya and, I don't know, navigating it all. So let's do that together. Okay, so this is the current state of my kitchen right now. I actually didn't want to show you this, but this is kind of what my kitchen looks like most of the time, because honestly I am the worst with cleaning while I'm cooking, and just very often when I'm done with cooking I just don't feel like doing anything anymore because the day is over. Also, of course, because yesterday was a Friday, so I came back from work, and when I'm done with work I'm just so tired. So usually I don't really get that much done when it comes to house chores, and then it kind of stacks up. So yeah, that's the realistic look of my kitchen. Let's clean it up for a bit, and when I'm done I'll treat myself to a nice breakfast slash lunch, because I realized I haven't eaten yet. And the thing with that is you're finally done with cleaning the kitchen, and then you're using it again and you have to do it all over again. And I usually say that I try to romanticize it. Getting to do the dishes over and over again just kind of means that you're living, basically. But I'll be honest, it's difficult to romanticize it all the time. But this is just the realistic part of life. Life is just kind of a continuous doing of the dishes and the laundry. So I wrote this quote down that I saw on Instagram that said, "I haven't been feeling like myself lately. I must be growing." And I thought it was just such a nice reminder, also because it reminded me of when you were a kid and you had those growing pains, and basically growing isn't comfortable. And of course the same can be true for growing mentally. So most of my time in the past few months went to basically my 9 to 5. I really have been trying to kind of get my life back outside of working 9 to 5, also because it's not like the most inspiring job. Basically, the challenge that I have is that I want to have a life outside of work. So my plan for right now is to kind of again make an ideal week in my life where I really try to fit in everything that I want to do outside from my job, that is, for example, deen related or with hobbies or like social plans, and also to kind of create some sort of system again. Because what I've noticed is that if you do not really have a clear plan, for example, when it comes to doing the groceries, like what are you going to have for dinner that night, or like doing the chores in the house, if you don't really have a schedule for it, then you're just doing it in the moment. And when like a larger part of your time is at work, like physically at work, so not working from home, it just kind of feels like when you come back, all you ever do is, for example, doing the chores or trying to figure out what's for dinner. It's just kind of not the best. So it would be better to have like a clear plan made in advance, so you know when you're doing certain things. Kind of like work outside of work, where you have your own little schedule. So right now I'm again making an ideal week in my life and trying to fit in as much time for hobbies, as much time for deen, and basically as much time for things that bring me closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and things that bring me closer to myself. Another realization that I have is that a reason why I do not feel connected with myself is also because I do not feel connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like, I've been doing kind of bare minimums when it comes to the deen. And in the past few days, I did try to listen to more Islamic lectures instead of, for example, putting on a show or watching kind of like a random YouTube video. And I already noticed that when you're like consuming more things that are related to the deen, that are related to Islam, that are lectures that discuss Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you already feel more connected and also more connected with yourself. I think a big thing that I want to pivot towards is to take more steps towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is really something that has been missing in the past few months. And now that I'm looking at kind of my ideal week in my life, I feel like, especially when you are working on a day, the best way for me right now to still make sure that I'm taking steps closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is either through a very strong morning routine or a very strong nighttime routine, and ideally both, of course. So I do have some lunch plans with friends, so I'm just going to prepare for that, and I'll take you with me as well, and then afterwards we can get back to building a new system. I think I'm going to call this series on YouTube Soft But Disciplined, something like that, because I made a video quite a long time ago about soft discipline and practicing that, and I think I just want to create an entire vlog series around that, like some sort of diaries, basically showcasing how you can be both soft and disciplined at the same time, and also highlight how important it is to be both soft and disciplined, because only being soft without having any discipline will likely lead you to not really live up to the goals that you have. And only being disciplined, I feel like as a woman, or at least for me, it just also doesn't really work. So this will be inshallah the very first episode of the Soft But Disciplined Diaries, and let me know if you like that whole concept. And definitely this is episode 1 or maybe episode 0, because I'm leaning more towards the soft side than the discipline side right now, because I don't really have very clear routines set in place right now, and I'm just going with what needs to be done at the moment. So it definitely will be a documentation of a journey that is ahead. But let me know what you think and if you'd like to do this together. I'm going to go ahead and make some dinner now and then just kind of wind down for the evening. And tomorrow, inshallah, I will try to wake up a little bit earlier so that I can, inshallah, implement some more deen habits in the morning instead of just kind of rushing out of the door to my workplace. I did already make a list of what I want to do. It's a very short list because honestly, I'm starting from zero, I'm starting from scratch, and then inshallah slowly building it up to like the morning routine that I used to have, and maybe even better than that. But it's going to take some time, but that's okay. So I just got home from work, and this is kind of the reason why I haven't been like making any vlogs lately, is because I feel like it would be boring to share, because right now tired and I'm hungry, and honestly I'm just not going to do that much. However, my friend told me to just make a daily vlog or a weekly vlog and it would still maybe be interesting. So I'm just going to go ahead and try that. So my husband and I made lasagna yesterday. So alhamdulillah, I do not have to cook. So I'm just going to heat up my dinner and honestly just try to wind down a little bit.